Good morning, everyone. It's Lindsay Ellis from SPS back in the building with another SPS Monday Motivation. First, I want to thank everybody for all the birthday wishes. Hey, one of the benefits of social media, you can connect with people all over the world, and I appreciate every last comment, statement, post. I really appreciate that. Very, very helpful, and probably plays in today's topic today, and that is, are your tools serving you? Are you getting the support you need from the tools you're using? Like, what are you talking about, Lindsay? Here's the thing: you need to use the right tools to build the right mindset. And we all have some tools that we use, right? We all have this tool belt that I'm going to share with you, right? The necessary tools in it. So if you were building a house, well, maybe not, we're not building a house. It's not like Little House on the Prairie, which my daughter still watches. Or we were making something happen around the house, you need tools. But from a mental health standpoint, we also need tools as well. And we'll talk about these tools, therapy tools for mental health. And a lot of things come into play when we talk about that because we all use tools. And when life gets heavy or we hit a low point, we reach for something to help. And life getting heavy is just a reality. So many of us are carrying so many burdens, and we're trying to get through life and trying to manage. It's not like it was yesterday, and it may feel like it's not like it needs to be going into the future. So that's a big, heavy burden many of us carry. And the question is, are your tools helping you heal or just helping you hide? And believe me when I say this is a no judgment type presentation right now. I'm not passing any judgment on anyone and what their experience is, but I think it's important that we start talking about, what things we can do to help us get through. And what are some of the common tools, right? You have mindfulness. We talk about deep breathing and things like that, which I use a lot and I think is helpful. We have alcohol, and I'll get into that. You have therapy, which people take full advantage of. Shout out to Counselor, mental health app that's providing 24/7, 365-day licensed mental health counselors for our young people. Drugs, baby. You know how that goes. Exercise and anger. I celebrated at Rocket Classic yesterday, and based on my accommodations, I had access to alcohol as long as I was there. And to be honest and straightforward, I haven't had a drink in some time, just for my own reasons. And I did indulge, but I look at that alcohol to give you that effort mentality that whatever you may be worried about, you won't worry about it anymore. And the concern about that is using that as a constant tool because it doesn't let you address the real issue at hand. Also, destructive tools. Some of these things I'm talking about, they may provide that short-term relief, like I was just saying, but then there's a long-term cost, right? Yeah, temporary relief isn't true support. And I know it's difficult because I think that we get into these cycles in our life where we don't want to even come out of it. We don't even want to do anything different from what we're used to. We feel that changing things may impact our social circle. It may impact what's happening in your household. But temporary relief, again, isn't true support. Substance use, avoidance, impulsive behaviors, and isolation often are these things that we're talking about that end up providing an escape, but not a resolution. I'll say that again. Provide an escape, but not a resolution. And they create this dependence that leads to worse mental health outcomes. Yeah, I know in the moment when you're feeling something, you feel numb and it seems like this is going to work out, but you still got to face the issue in the morning, figuratively speaking. Also, the psychological insight is coping mechanism like alcohol or drug use increases the dopamine in the short term, but they disrupt the emotional regulation and the neurochemical balance over time. And that's been cited as recently as 2022. Yeah, it seems good for now. Oh, I'm good, man. I just need me a drink. But that's going to disrupt some things long term and have some negative effects where you go from saying, oh, a drink could be fine to having this dependency on that. And again, this is not coming from a place of judgment. I celebrated 49 years yesterday. I've had my time. College time swiftly passed, if you know what I mean. But it's also looking at what about our long-term health and what's going to help us going forward. Good morning. I got Michelle Mimi Watkins saying good morning. Happy birthday. Thank you for the birthday wishes, Michelle. I appreciate it. It's great to be in the city. Shout out to my mom, showing love. Got to hang out with her too. And my daughter's back from camp, so all is well with the world. We got Mason Fraley saying good morning. Good morning, Mason, coming in from YouTube. I appreciate that. So as we talk about this, we talk about what we can do to help. We talk about these tools. Let's talk about some constructive tools for some sustainable support. You know, Mason also say happy birthday. Thank you for the birthday wishes, Mason. I appreciate that. So what are some constructive tools for sustainable support, right? Something that's going to last long term. Some of those tools are deep breathing and meditation. I talked about that. I talked about that mindfulness aspect. That's really one of my priorities and go to. And the good thing about that, unlike using alcohol or drugs, there's no negative residual, meaning there's no hangover, there's no negative impact on your system and all these type of things. Also, the meditation, journaling or verbally expressing things, having someone you can talk to, or just looking in the mirror and articulate something, the idea of getting it off your head. I talk to my athletes about you got to do things that people don't normally do to find the success that you really want. So these are some of the things too. Being able to connect with others, find a way to bond and have some conversations. I was surrounded by complete strangers for the most part yesterday, but had a really good time connecting, talking about a number of issues along with golf and the fact that nobody can make a putt on the 15th hole, right? Physical movement, you got to get going. Hey, you may not be training for the Ironman, or Iron Woman that is, but get out, go for a walk. This is the perfect time to do it with the summertime, and your body gets so used to it that you'll be committed to finding some things to do going forward. Counseling or coaching, talking to somebody, getting some support, getting some feedback, and then also spiritual grounding. You can never go wrong with that as well. Got Tamara Hunt Williams today saying being proactive with your tools versus reactive with tricks can be impactful. I love how you say that. You talk about those tricks. And Tamara, I saw Luke Charter, the coach of Grand Ledge, post about, his ongoing golf thing. I saw this humongous human that looked like Teddy in the picture. It's good to know he's home looking great. But I love what you say. You talk about tools and not tricks, and we have to be very mindful of that. Speaking, I'm going to share this image right here. I think it speaks to just what Tamara referenced, talking about tools and not tricks, as far as what are the different resources we have. For mental health toolkit, strategy you can use with your mental health, so you can get some sleep and get some rest. Music that's inspiring, that gets you going. What hobbies do you have that aren't self-destructive, and other sources that can help you go as well. But Tamara, you're absolutely right. You want tools and not tricks, not that quick fix. And again, going back to mindfulness that I talk about a lot, mindfulness-based stress reduction has been shown to improve mood, reduce anxiety, and decrease emotional intelligence. That's a great tool that you can use. That's just doing some deep breathing, being able to relax and kind of stay present in the moment. Because what's the definition of anxiety? When we worry about things that have not happened. What's the definition of depression? When we worry about things that happened in the past. The sweet spot is staying present in the moment. And mindfulness definitely helps you do that, because it's almost difficult for do that. You say you got them home for a week. It will be the best week of your life. I know you trading happy to have Teddy home. Send him my regards, please. Also, let's compare the impact. Let's talk about the tools and the immediate effect, the long-term results of the alcohol numbness and dependence, and the mood decline. You see what that does? You can't tell me that consistently overly consuming alcohol can't do anything but eventually have negative effects. Again, this is a no judgment zone, right? But exercise and endorphins bring confidence and energy, that movement. A lot of us feel very sedentary. I don't want to move around. I don't, you have these goals. You feel that you can't reach these goals so far, so you kind of sit back and go from there. But it's important that you start some kind of movement, get that exercise. I hit the gym as soon as I get off the road from Detroit when I get back home. Isolation and silence, loneliness and depression. Got to be very careful with that, because it's easy. Remember last week I talked about let there be light. I noticed myself that if I get into a space where the lights are off and low, things start getting real low with your mood, and you think it's comfortable, but it's really not a good thing. You get into this form of isolation. Turn the lights on, right? Also, journaling, self-reflection, clarity, emotional release. Hey, you have technology now. Maybe you don't want to write it. Speaking to your phone, use some dictation to kind of say things and let it play back and read those things. These are great tools you can use to help you manage positive mental health. Also, ask yourself, does this tool lift me up or does it weigh me down? I tell you what, we were talking to some individuals where we were, and they talked about people going on work trips and things happening, and alcohol gets involved, and it has a negative impact on their job, going as far as possibly losing their job. Or just talking about is that every time you get together with friends and you start having these different experiences, whether it's alcohol or whatever drugs it may be, the next day you find yourself having to apologize, or more than that, you don't even know what happened. So is that something that's lifting you up or weighing you down? Or physically, how do you feel? Physically, how do you feel after you had that experience? Do you feel ready to take on the world, or are you lethargic and it slows down what you're able to do? Keep that in mind. So we talk about building that mental health toolkit. Your proactive toolkit might include a few more things like this: a 5-minute guided breathing every morning. They talk about the box breathing. Breathe in 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds. Those are some things you can do over the period of time just to get you grounded before the day started, just to get you, aware of what's going on around you so you can focus on you. Weekly check-ins with a therapist or a mentor. Who you got that you're checking in with? Is it someone that you officially meet with, or someone you can have some vulnerable conversations with and you feel it's a safe space? That's a good thing. Moving your body daily. You can walk, you can stretch, get involved in the sport. Like I said, you don't have to train for the decathlon. Get out and have a walk. And again, with the weather being like it is, this is the perfect time. Also, replacing one unhealthy behavior with a positive. Do the old switcheroo, the old Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, where you take one thing and put it on there, even though that didn't work that much. But maybe that's a bad analogy. But my point is, find something you can substitute out. See, the thing is that there's so many things that we've been doing throughout our lifestyle and our time that we continue to do that we think that that's all that we can do. And when you work on having another opportunity to switch something and bring something else in, it really can change and have a positive impact. Got a few more things for you guys too. Creating a low moment checklist, which actually works. Like, what helps me during that? Like I said, that breathing and being mindful really helps me stay present and put things in perspective. Talking about gratitude, getting out and writing that list of all the things you're grateful for when you realize you got some great things going on in your life compared to the things that you're concerned about. Also, resilience isn't about avoiding struggle. It's about having the right tools to handle it. Nobody say you're going to be struggle free in this world. Everybody, I bet, if you had time to talk to them, they got something that they're dealing with that's heavy, and that's a burden, whether we judge it, whether it should be considered important or not. But everybody is managing. This world doesn't let you get through without some kind of challenge. The question is, do you have the right tools to handle it? Are you able to manage it and get the most of it? And, of course, be able to come back to it and learn from it. If you want to build a strong life, don't use tools that break you. Be very mindful that if you got these tools that are only breaking and adding to the negative things that you're dealing with, you got to really work on how you're going to get away from that. And finally, as you wrap up, life is going to throw challenges your way, but you don't have to face them empty-handed. Choose tools that sharpen your mind and strengthen your heart and support your growth. I think we're all capable of doing it. It's one step at a time. It doesn't have to be an overwhelming life change, because sometimes we get so far into something that's overwhelming that it's difficult for us to walk back. So with that being said, guys, I want to thank you for supporting the platform. Looking forward to talking to you some more. I got one more comment right here, and I got Michelle Mimi Watkins saying, build a helpful and useful toolbox. I love that. What do you have in your toolbox? What's helpful? What's useful? And as we mature and grow on, we can change those things as we go. So I want to wish you guys the best. Thanks again for the birthday wishes. I'll be getting back to you guys soon. And with that being said, this is Lindsay Hustle with SPS. We'll see you next time. Peace.